In part 4 of the Israelite teachings, we covered why believing in Jesus is blasphemy. But who is Jesus? We also know that Helios in Greek means sun. Well, Helios is also a Roman sun god and is the Greek Titan or giant god of the sun. In part 4, we also covered where giants came from, which were from both the angels who descended from heaven and took human wives, and they became pregnant and bore giants or titans. The Greek Titan god of the sun is also known as Apollo, son of Zeus. Apollo is known as the god of music, the sun and light, truth, prophecy, and healing. Lucifer, which means morning star, is known as a musical angel, and the only star we see on mornings or during the day is the sun. Apollo's powers were related to prophecy and the ability to foretell the future. Apollo, also known as Abaddon in Hebrew terms, appears to be an angel of the abyss or underworld or bottomless pit, as seen in Revelations 9:11. In Revelations 1:13, it describes Jesus as girt about the paps. The word for paps in Greek is mastos, which means female breasts. The Luciferian Baphomet statue has female breasts and is their androgynous, gender fluid, satanic idol. That is the light bringer. So now we have an idea of what Jesus looks like. What about his works on earth? Well, Apollo was a healer, and Jesus also healed the sick. He healed leprosy, blindness, and even made someone walk again. Apollo was the sun and light. Jesus is also the sun and light. John 8:12. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. Revelations 1:7. Behold, he cometh with the clouds, and every eye shall see him, and is known as the Son of God, just like Apollo is the son of a god from Mount Olympus, Zeus. Apollo tells prophecies, and Jesus prophesied his crucifixion and his resurrection. Je in Latin is earth, and sus in Latin is pig. Jesus means earth pig, or earthly swine, or beast. And the Hebrew word for Messiah or anointed in Greek is Christos, or Christ, the same last name as Serapis Christos, who with Pharaoh Ptolemy of Egypt introduced the cult of Serapis Christus and called his followers bishops of Christ, or Christians. Now, these Jesus stories came from our constellations.
The star in the east is Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, which, on December 24th, aligns with the three brightest stars in Orion's belt. These three bright stars in Orion's belt are called today what they were called in ancient times, the Three Kings. And the Three Kings and the brightest star, Sirius, all point to the place of the sunrise on December 25th. This is why the Three Kings follow the star in the east, in order to locate the sunrise, the birth of the sun. The Virgin Mary is the constellation Virgo, also known as Virgo the Virgin. Virgo in Latin means virgin. The ancient glyph for Virgo is the altered M. This is why Mary, along with other virgin mothers, such as Adonis's mother Myra or Buddha's mother Maya, begin with an M. Virgo is also referred to as the house of bread, and the representation of Virgo is a virgin holding a sheaf of wheat. This house of bread and its symbol of wheat represents August and September, the time of harvest. In turn, Bethlehem, in fact, literally translates to house of bread. Bethlehem is thus a reference to the constellation Virgo, a place in the sky, not on Earth. There's another very interesting phenomenon that occurs around December 25th, or the winter solstice. From the summer solstice to the winter solstice, the days become shorter and colder. And from the perspective of the northern hemisphere, the sun appears to move south and get smaller and more scarce. The shortening of the days and the expiration of the crops when approaching the winter solstice symbolize the process of death to the ancients. It was the death of the sun. And by December 22nd, the sun's demise was fully realized, for the sun, having moved south continually for 6 months, makes it to its lowest point in the sky. Here a curious thing occurs. The sun stops moving south, at least perceivably, for 3 days. And during this 3-day pause, the sun resides in the vicinity of the Southern Cross, or Crux, constellation. And after this time, on December 25th, the sun moves 1 degree, this time north, foreshadowing longer days, warmth, and spring. And thus it was said, the sun died on the cross, was dead for 3 days, only to be resurrected or born again. It is the sun's transition period before it shifts its direction back into the northern hemisphere, bringing spring and thus salvation.
So who is Jesus? Jesus is a fictional character. Jesus is an image, an idol for pagan worshipping to evil entities, a tool used for breaking the Most High's laws.